You're listening to Being Fully Human with Alex Laws. Each week, we delve into topics that will allow you to improve yourself and everything around you so you can really start living. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode.
Alarm clock screaming, bare feet hit the floor. Yeah, it's off to the races, everybody out the door. I'm feeling like I'm falling behind, it's a crazy life. 90 miles an hour, going fast as I can, trying to push a little harder, trying to get the upper hand. So much to do in so little time, it's a crazy life. It's ready, set, go, it's another wild day. When the stress is on the rise, in my heart I feel you say, just breathe, come and rest at my feet. And just be. Chaos calls, but all you really need is to just breathe.
Wow. And once again, the music just fires me up in ways that, you can only feel inside when you get your rhythm going. Hey, it's Alex, and you are on Being Fully Human, the podcast that talks about all of the things we as human beings go through at one time or another. Hopefully you'll pick up one or two little nuggets while you're on this podcast to help your day, your week, or your month. Maybe even you'll shift your entire year today just by picking up some of the things we talk about. As we do each week, find yourself in a comfortable position, put your feet flat on the ground, or stand up in the center of a room. Align your spine, let your arms hang down. That's the key. Aligning your back, relax your shoulders. Breathe. Going to take 3 big breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. Bring your arms up over your head. Exhale. Don't miss this part of the show ever. Make sure to participate in this, if anything. Take a big breath in, bring it up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Today's show on Being Fully Human is Start Here. And it's really the most common question I get asked. Where do I start? How do I start? And for those of you that are instructors, maybe you teach a class or you have a group that you take out for activities, or maybe you're a ski instructor or someone who does winter sports. This is the key. This is how it all starts right when you take control of your individuals. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 in a private, or maybe it's a group class. But how you start is how it's going to set the tone for everything you do. I mean, think about that. You go into start a class, or you go into begin organizing a group of people, and what you do in the very beginning is setting the tone, the rhythm for what's going to happen. There's a reason I start every one of my shows out with the breathing exercise. I just happened to find the music, of course, that was fantastic, that talks about is all you have to do is stop and take a breath. Well, I encourage you to come up with your own routine. What is it that will make everyone just stop for a moment in that group and realign the energy, realign their focus so that you're all doing something together? Lay the ground rules out, right? Here's where the bathroom is, here's the exits, here's our plan for the day, and let's get started. Or maybe you're with a group that's going to be active, and so you've got to come up with some exercises, some easy exercises that anyone can do. Maybe it starts by just stepping side to side, simple squats up and down. And you come up with the 5 things that you want to do. I use the number 5 all the time because it's 5 simple things that we can do to get started on a program. My program, Rhythmatic Meditation, people come into it and they know that they're always going to get an opening and always can get a closing. And so for you, I want you to think about what you need to do. Maybe it's your job. Perhaps you go into the office every day, Monday through Friday, or whatever the schedule is, and come up with the 5 things you're going to do to start your day. So often people will start their day with the same mess that was on their day from the day before, and the day before that, and the week, and the month, and the year. I mean, things just piled up. Perhaps your ending of your day should be that you clean your desk off so when you come in to start your day, you're ready to go. What are those 5 things that work for you? Do you need to check email? Do you need to check social media? Do you need to check phone messages? There's 3. Do you need to check who's at work? Do you need to check the daily schedule? There's 5 things you could do just to start your day. And when I talk about that, let's back up for a second. I said, let's start checking the email. I want you to time yourself on the email. You can go in and scan it and get rid of the ones you don't want. And then we're going to go back later and look at the ones we do need. So don't dive into me email and just get taken off on a wild goose chase, right? That's the great thing about the whole social media world is you can go in for an email and psychologically they know exactly what to say that are your trigger buttons that make you want to chase that email. Pretty soon you've been in there for an hour. So starting your plan. What is your start? People that have been working with me now are finding a routine. There's a basically written routine. You can do it however you'd like to. I encourage you to do it in the morning. I encourage you to listen to your song every morning because then I know you're taking the time to start. Let's go back to a teacher. You know, when you used to be in grade school in North America, a lot of people would know that once the bell rang, we're going to start with a routine. Used to be you do the Pledge of Allegiance when I was growing up. I knew that one, they'd take roll. 2, they'd do the Pledge of Allegiance. 3, we'd look at what the things we were going to do for the day. The teacher would have it outlined. She'd have a work plan. We'd know when recess was. So how do you start, right? Well, you need to look at what your priority is. Let's look at what the topic is. Let's just take a ski instructor, for example. It's winter. We're just come out of the holidays and our first one, but it is the winter time. People are going to go take a ski instruction class. What does that instructor do? How do they look? So it all starts right there. How do you start even before you get to your class? Do you get there early? Is your uniform clean and ready to go? Do you look like the professional you want to look like? And are you feeling good about yourself? Have you taken time to get there early so you could have a good breakfast and have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is you like in the morning? So that then when you start with a group of people, you've already started. So you may have 3 starts before your official start, right? Years ago over on Mount Hood in Oregon, I was brought up in a family that was very connected with ski school, and I went on to be a snowboard instructor. And the first thing I figured out was what did I needed to do to start my day. I'd get there early. I'd make sure my uniform was always clean and ready to go. And once we left the meeting, because we always started the day with a meeting, we had to then go out and help put the corral together, put the area where the students would come into. So this is all of our start. And those that didn't need to do that broke off into a group and they made a first run together. So they were warming up together that way. We were warming up at the corral, moving, doing some jumping jacks, running through the corral together as a team. This was our start to our start, right? And so when you start to look at the things you can do to feel good about yourself, to act as a professional when your people come to you, so that you're ready to start, the start all comes back to you. Do you realize that? You direct it. Nobody else can start your day. Nobody else can get you up. You have to figure out your routine to start. So again, if we take this instructor, let's say it's a ski instructor. They get there early to the lodge. They check in. They have time to sit down and assess the situation. They find out who's going to be in their class for the day. They look at the ability that student has. And then they think about the mountain and they may look at a trail map and decide, this is where I'm going to go. And then once they do that, they have the next start, the start that when the student's actually there, checking on the student's equipment, checking on the equipment the student brought. Do they have the cold weather gear? I always had a pack with me that had extra gloves and extra hats and extra goggles for my students. So, as you check out all of their things, that's part of your start. You probably want to do that in a lodge or a warmer area so that you make sure when they go out, they're ready to go. If you teach children, of course, most of them show up with mitts on. There's nothing worse than a small kid trying to put their mitt on. They use their teeth and their mouth. Now they get their glove all wet. You think about all these starts that happen in your day. And so now as this instructor is starting, they're starting with their student. And they're showing that if I start by showing the lay of the land, they'll feel more comfortable. Inside the building, it's warmer. We can point out where the restroom is, where the lunchroom is, where they can go if they ever get separated. All of this lay of the land kind of thing. I not long ago was doing some beginning starts on cycling. And people may think a stationary bike is an easy piece of equipment just to jump on and make happen. But any piece of equipment like that needs to have instruction, needs to have the layout, needs to have a time when you're looked at so that your form is good. And so as you do that, we would lay out where the locker room is, where the water is, and I'd even connect with the AED in case there was an emergency. Here's where you go to get the device. And it's a first aid device for people that if they have a heart is stopped, or if they're having chest problems, you grab the AED and somebody who's CPR certified can use it. But know where it is, know the situation. So going back to that ski instructor, we haven't even started instruction yet, but really we have set the tone of where to start our instruction. What is your plan? And then write that plan out on a card. I used to use small recipe cards. You say that to some people today. Most of our parents or mothers or grandparents always handed down the recipe box, right? Had all the hidden secrets for those great recipes. Well, guess what? You sit down with a recipe card for your recipe for the day. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and just go through it and check it off. And put it in a small Ziploc bag or even get it sealed in plastic. You're going to be out there in cold climates. But work your plan and plan your work. That's what we're talking about. And as you do that, it makes it so much easier to figure out where to start. There's so many different starts in your day. So if you can break each box down to the start, so the meet and greet, and explanation of the facilities, going out, the meet and greet and explanation of the equipment, the meet and greet, the explanation of how the chairlift works. And in so many cases, if you teach young children, the thing is getting on that chair and just getting and going. And less explanation of that, I found in the past, usually worked really well. Come on with me, I'll be with you, it's going to be fine. And we get on and get going, and they're safe. And before they know it, they've made a chairlift ride that was just a lot of fun. Little ones are great to watch on those things at ski resorts. They get up on those chairlifts, and you'd think that they would have been doing it for 50 years. The confidence is so amazing. It's because nobody's told them anything different. You don't need to put any roadblocks in their way. You just need to get out there with them and start experiencing. But take the time to plan your work. These people just think anybody can go take a group of people and off a cuff go out and ski with them. If you want them to have the great benefit, then you have got to have a plan on where to start. Write that plan out. If you ever have questions on this, you can always go to alexlaws.com. That's where you find me, ALEXLAWS.com. You can email me at alex, ALEXLAWS.com, alex at alexlaws.com, for any questions or thoughts on any of these things of where to start. Even with the holidays that are coming up, what is your plan? Think about it. What days are you doing events? What days do you not need to do events? Try and come out of the holidays feeling good about what you did. If you go into it with a plan, even if it's as minor as just giving yourself 30 minutes a day by yourself, when everybody's coming and going through the holiday rush and the different meals and eating so many different things, and maybe you didn't make enough time for your fitness. If you go in with a plan, you will make a time. You'll change the experience. Your experience through the holidays can be completely different if you know where to start. I was speaking on where to start the other day to a couple of people, and one individual said, I started 4 months ago looking for a job, and I have found nothing. I said, well, let's take a look at your start. I said, where do you start every day? Well, I get right up and I get on the computer. I said, well, I can see to this beginning here, that's your first problem. Computer's not the first thing to do. You don't get to the computer until you've taken a shower, you've gotten cleaned up, If you're a man, you should shave. If you're not, then do your hair. But you don't hit the computer until you're completely awake and ready to go. And part of that is cleaning up, showering, making your bed, making the area you're going to work in to get that job ready for you. It's all these different things that you have to do to start to look for a job. But you can't go at it with your slippers and sweats on and in a casual mode, and you don't know when you're going to get up, and your bed was never made, and you're going to get the same results that you're creating. Take the time for a written plan. Take professionals, people that are teachers, grade school teachers, high school teachers. They write a lesson plan, and then they follow it. And at the end of it, it equals this. If you want a job, now work it backwards. Go out and meet people. Go out and volunteer at places. I always talk about joining the YMCA because it puts you in the midst of a lot of people. Find a facility that has a lot of people going through it. Put yourself in the lane of people. If that's your thing is to get a job and get a plan. You get up at the same time every day. I recommend people getting a job, wanting to get a job, start at 6 a.m. You get up at 6 a.m. You should have more done by 8 a.m. and ready for the day than most people. See, when you have a job, you know how much time, if I get up at 7:15, I can hit the door by 7:40. I walk in at 7:59. You get this pattern down, right? And if that's the case, if you're just in a solid pattern like that and you don't like what you're doing, but you're able to do it and collect money and get paid for your job, and that's fine. But I encourage you to start differently. Start there differently. And if you're looking for a job, you need to get up earlier than anybody else. You need to work longer than anybody else until you get that job. You find out where the people are, the jobs you want. And if you haven't written out the kind of job you want, then you're not going to get it because you haven't described it. You heard me just talking about the guy or gal who's a ski instructor. Write out a lesson plan. Write out your plan for the day. Write out how you start your day. There's a lot of things to it. It's not just showing up in a uniform and hoping you can get a private lesson. It's actually having a plan of attack. Plan to direct and lead people on the mountain. A plan of attack. Plan in a way that you get directed to go get that new job. And you got to get up out of the bed at 6 a.m. That means you got to go to bed by 10. You get extra sleep. It gives you time to do your power walk in the morning or run. Or if you're a gym person, go for a swim, go for a workout. But you got to start earlier than anybody else. That's the key. If you want the job, you got to get started and be ready before anybody else does. And then if you're not getting anywhere, just applying on computers, and maybe you've hired a headhunter and you're still not getting anywhere, go knock on doors. Yeah, it sounds old-fashioned, but it still works. Put yourself in the line where these people are walking, having lunch, having coffee. Let them know you're looking for work. Oh, by the way, here's just a one sheet on me. Yeah, I heard you do this. I'd like to get to know you. So many different things we can do to start. And people that are retired. What does your retirement day start like? Maybe you've always wanted to sleep until 9. Good for you. As long as you're not missing anything and your health isn't suffering, then that is your start. That is your start. You find where to start. No matter whether you're looking at it as an instructor, as a teacher, as a mom, as a dad, as somebody wanting the job. You have to have a start. You have to have a plan. And that's what it's all about. We've talked about it here today on Being Fully Human. I'm Alex Laws. You can find me at alexlaws.com. You can always email me at alex@alexlaws.com. Love to come talk to your group. We talk about so many different things about you and the little nuggets that we can talk about, the seeds we can plant to make the world we live in maybe a little bit better place, a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. Want to love what we do, want to laugh, want to enjoy. I guess I'm out of here for today. Have a great week. Until next time, this is Alex, and you've been on Being Fully Human.
Thanks for listening to Being Fully Human. We want to make sure that you don't miss out on the next episode, so make sure to subscribe and check out www.alexlaws.com for more info on this and all of our other episodes.